to intro me, and I appreciate that. I'm going to hand this right over to Jay because he's been working tireless hours to get us where we need to be on our GPG payout. He knows it inside out and backwards, and we're all pretty excited to see it come up live today. So I'm going to hand it back to Jay Barami. He is by far much more technical than I am and a great person to explain it. And we're going to let him walk through it step by step. Just get your pens and pencils out, listen to him, and you can run with it, Jay. You good to go?
I'm good to go here, Steve.
All right, thank you.
All right, great. Well, hello, everybody. My name's Jay. I think I spoke to some on the call earlier this week. Talk about GPG payout system we got going for you here. I want to make sure you all can see my screen. And I'm going to show you a couple different things, including how to get started, how to activate, and then how to navigate through your payee dashboard. So for those of you that don't know, Telex Free has chosen Global Payment Gateway, Payroll Gateway, excuse me, to manage our commission payouts. And we chose them because they are a solid platform that has to follow banking industries for security protocol and things of that nature. They offer a lot of flexible ways to get funds downline to you guys, and an easy way for us to manage commission payout loans. So they've got a pretty sophisticated system. We're going to touch on a few pieces of it today, and then I'll probably have some more training later down the line. But the goal today is to get you guys signed up, get you activated, and in there you can get your payment methods in there. And you push commissions down to you, you'll be able to get the funds in your accounts as needed. So I'm going to start by showing you this little screen I got up here, which is basically a thing saying, hey, thanks for hanging in there. It's been an uphill battle getting this thing going, but we're getting there. And you can click off if you don't want to see it again. But when you log into your back office, just see this little banner at the top that shows you need to connect your account to GPG to get paid. Once you click this little link, this banner is going to go away, but right now it's still there if you click it anyway. But later on next week, if you see it, you can click it again, and you'll get this little notification that pops up that says, hey, we got a duplicate payment record, but that's just because we already created you, so don't worry about it, and that banner won't be there anymore. Once you get here, this is going to kind of give you some information about what to do next, because in the meantime, an email is going to your inbox saying, welcome to GPG. It's sent out to you in 3 languages and kind of describes what you're going to need to do next. Basically says, hey, in order to start using this system, you got to activate and then log in and do some stuff. You're also going to get an email shortly thereafter with your activation PIN, and it's just a number code that's associated with your account. It's going to allow you to activate. Before I do that, let's make sure everybody knows how to get to this page once you get into your back office. That link's right here under your data. It says My GPG, and it's going to basically take you to this page. Before I log into the payee dashboard, I want to show you what you're going to see on activation. The first time you come here to log in, this is going to bounce you over to this activation page with your email verification. In 4 languages, it's going to say, hey, I need your PIN code. I need to make sure you are you. And once you get that PIN code, you can put it in there. And I pasted mine in so you could see real quick. This is nice. This is going to take you over to your activation data page. And it's just asking some information to make sure we got the right information from your Telex Free account. Choose your country, where you live. This is going to light up the right banks you can use to get the funds back. So if you put the wrong country in there, your bank might not appear. So make sure you're in the country where your bank is. It wants to verify your email address, so it can make sure it gives you email notifications to say, hey, you got funds loaded, or this or that. Along the way, it's going to ask you to change your password, but I'll tell you right now, you got to change your password. You can't continue if you don't change it. We generate this little password to get you in here securely. And don't worry about your username. It's just a number that's associated with your account. You can change it if you want, but it's not going to do you anything because we don't use it. I'm going to ask you a couple security questions. That's pretty much for the forgot password functionality. So put in some things there that you know. If you're interested in getting text messages when the system's updated, basically when you get paid or when funds are available or funds have made it out, you can put in your cell phone number and the carrier, and they'll send you a text message. You can do this when you're in the console too, so if you don't want to do it now, you can always do it later. We'd like to know what time zone you're in and when your birthday is and where your address is in case we have to send you something by mail. Accept terms and conditions and move on. The next thing you're going to see after you do this is the place where you have to put your password. And I'm going to bounce to another back office where I've already activated. This back office, when I click in, is going to ask me my password to get into GPG. And we're always going to ask you that password. It's a security feature. Kind of like your second password. We call this one your money password. So if you type in your password, like I'll do here, and log in, you'll be presented with your payee dashboard. This is where you manage all your funds and everything having to do with your commissions and how to get money from your commission down to you in a variety of ways. I'm going to touch on a few of these things, but there's a lot in here to explore. Basically, GPG offers several methods for you to get funds. You can send them to a local bank account. You can send them to a pay card if you have a pay card from another company, or if Telex Free was to send out pay cards someday, you'd be able to use it there. Add an existing debit or credit card that you already have in your wallet from anywhere in the world. And you can also transfer to another Telex Free account if you know their gateway ID. So account in this system has a unique identifier, and this is gateway ID. So if you got, your brother who signed up and you want to send him your funds, you can say, I want to transfer it to his gateway. You just need to know his gateway number. So you can't transfer it to a guy you don't know. So I've set up a credit card here. Basically, I went in and put in a credit card that I have with my name on it and stuff, and gave it a name. You can set up a couple different cards if you want, and you can save it in there, and then it'll show you kind of from your dashboard what method you have. So you could set up a couple banks account, checking and savings if you want. If you had pay cards, you could do that. It doesn't have a free pay card. It could be any pay card, just as long as it's reloadable. Credit and debit cards, those are the ones in your wallet. We'll talk about virtual cards here in a minute. And here's where you can change your text preferences if you are so inclined. If you don't want it, or if you want a different email or something on there, you can change it. You can change your password too if you feel like your account's been compromised or you want to give it a better password. And there's some place where you can edit your information, your address and whatnot. Let me tell you a little bit about the process, and I'll touch on a few of these other things. When we load a payment for you, it's going to appear right here in your little window, and it's going to kind of show you the date that it happened, the status of that, what it is, and a description, excuse me, and the amount. So it might say something like, the date of the pay, status might be pending, type would be commission, and description, whatever your commissions are, date range, or some description to allow you to know what it is. And the amount might say plus $100. This kind of stuff here is kind of like your checkbook. So it's going to show you if you've got, if you owe something or if you got something coming. And this activation fee is a GPG fee. They charge you $1.50 to get started. It's a one-time fee. And then there are fees to get your funds, different fees for different types. If you load it to a rechargeable MasterCard or Visa, it's one fee. If you do it to pay cards, another fee. Your bank, I think there's a fee. I'm not 100% sure on that. So there's a couple other things you can do here too. You can, in fact, choose to get yourself a virtual card. Now, a virtual card is kind of a card that you can give to someone else. So let's say someone else doesn't have a credit card and they want to sign up for Telex Free, or you just want to give them a card. You want to give your son or daughter a card because they need to go buy something online and they don't have a credit card. You can create a virtual card here, and you can put funds on it. and it's going to give you all the information about that virtual card that can be used out there. And when those funds are used out there, the funds will come off this virtual card that you set up. You can set up a couple different virtual cards if you want. They do have some limits. Make sure you read this stuff to understand about how long it's good for and what you can do with it, things of that nature. Back here at the dashboard, I want to show you something else that you'll see in here, and that's a loyal bank account, MasterCard. This is an international offshore account that you can create. There is some fees involved with this that have not yet been defined, so I can't really talk about it too much right now. But if you want to do that, if you don't have a bank account that you can transfer funds into and you want to be a little bit more flexible, this is a pretty cool thing. They send you a debit card that you can use to draft back off the, and I believe the account's in the Cayman Islands. So that's an offshore kind of account. With that, there's one other thing in here that you might want to be interested in, and that's approved purchasing. Approved purchasing allows you to pay your open invoices with your commission. We call it commission recycling. That function's still available in your back office, but slowly it'll start rolling into the GPG system. So just keep in mind it's there, but you don't really need to use it right off the bat. But look around in here and start reading some of these. Their system's pretty good. It's pretty intuitive. You can easily go through. If you're adding a bank account and you put in a bank routing number that's not valid, I'll just type in some random numbers here and you move on. It'll come back and say, hey, that's not really a good one. So it's got some error handling in there for you to kind of make sure that you're putting in the right stuff. So what happens on our back end is when you request funds out of your back office, that generates the function of putting those funds into GPG. They go in there in a pending status, and then we have to approve them downstream. So the first time we do that, we run into a couple bumps in the road, but we're going to start doing that here shortly to get some of those commissions that have been backdated a couple weeks out there. But we just got the system live today. We want to make sure everybody has time to set up their account, get familiar with it, and then you'll start seeing those funds getting loaded into that account probably first thing on Monday. We're actually working over the weekend to work out the bugs on that so we can get it to you as soon as possible. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Steve. And Steve, I think you mentioned you might have a couple questions out there that you wanted to throw my way. I'll be happy to answer those for you.
Sure. Thanks, Jay. That was great. One question actually somebody had just sent me, and I think you said this right in the beginning, but let me just verify. They said that there are people they're seeing when they go to sign up for GPG, it's saying that it's out and they can't sign up. And I know you showed that right in the very beginning where they would get that error.
Yeah, let me talk about that for just a sec. This little banner to sign up that you see right here, once you click this the first time, it actually creates your account. And if you click it again after you create an account, it's just saying, hey, we've already got one there for you. So this banner is supposed to disappear, but we got to fix it. There's a little bug in the system there that it doesn't disappear. So once you click it once, you're pretty good to go. You don't need to click it again until we fix the bug, and then the last time you click it, it'll make the banner disappear. So one-time click is good. If you click it again and you get that duplicate pay record notice, that just means we already have an account for you. You might get another email in the way to say, hey, you need to activate your account and all that stuff. It's just the system firing it off to you. But once you click it once, you're good to go. And you'll know that if you get back to this page and you click through and you get the activation page link, which looks like this guy right here.
Okay.
If you get here, you'll know your account got created. If you don't, you can't get here without having an account. So you'll have to do that once. But unfortunately, that banner is going to kind of nag you for a couple days until we get that bug fixed.
That's fine. On this page, now you have it on the screen, this actually just brings up one other thing that happened to me earlier when you and I were talking. That 5-minute window people should wait the 5 minutes. Don't get impatient and think after a minute or two you didn't get the pin. It will come to you, correct? Did I lose you on that, Jay? Hello? Hello?
Steve, we may have lost him for a moment. I guess he'll call back in or turn his phone back on.
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Sorry. Yeah, the question is, 5 minutes is a good wait time. Today might even be a little bit longer because we've got just mega people signing up. At last glance, I think we had about 2,500 accounts created in our GPG system, and lots and lots of them have been activated. I can't keep up with it as fast as they're coming. So people are using the system, getting signed up, getting ready. It's good to see that. GPG handles a lot of the support for this for us. They've gotten a couple calls with some questions, so we're going to be adding, some things such as a button here on your home page to get to your GPG account because people can't find the link up here in the navigation. So some of those things will just kind of shake out over the next few days as we start to get feedback from the field on what they need. But that's the basic functionality, and we'll get you going.
Excellent. One other one. Does your GPG passcode need to match your second passcode with the telex system?
It does not need to match. It's a completely different system, and as a matter of fact, I would keep it different. Second password is protecting stuff in your back office. GPG password is protecting your cash. So anyone who has the password to your GPG can transfer money to a bank account or something like that. You want to keep that close to your heart, kind of like your Social Security number.
Okay. Well, that was all people had sent me in messages. Let me just double check here. Randy, do you have any on your end?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of the same questions are coming up, and one of them is, for instance, what day can they hit the withdraw button from their back office and telex free that it goes over to GPG?
So, Randy, I'll answer that question for you. The withdraw funds opportunity is still only on Tuesdays. That's still the method that you will use to request funds, just like you used to. But instead of sending a wire to you now, we're going to put it in your GPG account. So the same process is going to happen here for the next couple of weeks. Past that, it'll start to be a little bit more streamlined, where the functionality of a request will actually put the funds in a staged area of GPG, so we don't have to massage it and move it over there ourselves. But for now, we want to really keep a close eye on this, make sure that people are requesting funds, should be getting the funds, and make sure that the funds they requested get into their account. So we're all handling it, by hand. A lot of eyes on this right now to make sure that it's going the way it's supposed to. It's a new system. It's a complicated system, and it just requires a lot of hand-holding out of the gate so everyone understands, us included. We spent a lot of time looking at the system to make sure it was the right choice for us, and learned a lot about it. And in doing so, we've determined how to best get it to the field and get them into using it, and the rest of it will slowly come as time goes on.
Okay. Next question, and I think I know the answer to this. Going to be a minimum withdrawal of 300.
Still going to be a minimum withdrawal of 300, and I'll forewarn you, there are going to be some items that you have to do to get money out over a certain amount. I don't know what the threshold was set at yet, but it requires that you have to verify your identity for larger transactions, which is as simple as emailing a copy of your driver's license or utility bill or something that they can use to verify who you say you are. So that's something out there, but I don't have those limits yet to speak to. But you'll know the first time you try to get more than the limit is, because it'll ask for that stuff. And it's a simple email or call to GPG to get them that information, and they release it on the fly.
Right, and I understand that because that's a part of the the banking laws and different things of that nature. So it's good that we're working with, something reputable, and that's always a great thing. A lot of people.
Yeah, the banking laws are exceptionally strict when you're a company in one country doing business in other countries. So we have to abide by international banking laws, even for our customers in the States. So there's an extra kind of layer of security because we do international transactions.
Okay, perfect. And then someone was asking questions about I guess in Canada, before in Canada they had to pay a higher fee for taking money out of the system. Is that going to be similar with this company?
The fees that they have set in place are the fees. I don't know if the fees are country dependent. Haven't gotten into it enough to know those details. That's a great question, though, and I can get more definitive information and potentially post some stuff in the back office about that as time goes on. I think the fees are based on the type of transaction, not the country. So a local bank transaction is one thing. A transaction to dump it onto your credit card, I want to say it's $5 off the top of my head, but that's any credit card in the world, any country, anywhere. So that's a pretty flexible method of getting pay. And others have other fees. So great question, Randy, and I'll get some answers for you guys on that.
Okay, and you've already touched on the part about people that had money in their accounts and made requests before and did not get it, how that's going to be expedited for those individuals. But the question is coming in now, so the normal time frame from when someone withdraws on Tuesday to when it hits their account with GPG and to when they're able to put it on their credit card, do we have a time frame for that? That's the big question about 10 people are asking.
Yeah, I don't have all the details on that for you, but I know that there are time frames within GPG system that default to 24 hours. And that being, if funds hit your account today, let's say, there's a 24-hour hold period before you can actually get those funds. And that's their system, again, banking industry standards on that. So I don't actually know if the date, and then I think there's another period of time that it takes to actually get it to your account. So hypothetically, we put funds in your account today. Tomorrow it's released for you to do something with it. You say, I want to send it to my bank account. That second thing takes 24 hours to actually get to your bank account. I know that takes some time to do bank transfer. As far as a time after your request comes to when the funds hit your GPG, I'm not 100% sure on that, so I can't give you a solid answer.
Okay, so because, and that's the big question coming up, the old system that we were using before, because manual payments on that, were getting skipped, or perhaps it didn't get to their account in an efficient manner. With this new system, is it all fully, completely automated so that everyone in the back office with funds will be able to collect them?
I'll take it at 2 steps. The system is, in fact, fully automated, and someday it'll work where you select withdraw funds, and they appear in your GPG account moments later. In the beginning, though, we're handling those by hand. So we want to know all the requests for funds that came out. We want to make sure they're all legitimate. And then once we are sure that we've scrubbed ones that are either not legitimate or have chargebacks against them or things of that nature, then we'll put them into GPG for you. So it's going to be a hand process at first, just so we can keep things on the up and up, and we can stop some fraud that we've been seeing happening. So we're doing a little something to protect ourselves in the meantime, and it's going to be by hand. But later on down the line, it will be fully automated and in real time.
Okay, and that's another related question. There are a lot of people that are trying to pay in credit cards, because it's taking, I guess, longer than 7 business days for some of them to get whitelisted. Is there any provisions that you have here? Yeah, any provisions or timing on speeding up or expediting the provisioning of whitelisting?
The provisioning of whitelisting is, again, a banking industry standard that we have to follow. And if you're proactive about being whitelisted and try it before you get blacklisted, it's definitely going to be faster. Once you're blacklisted, unfortunately, the whitelisting process takes longer because first we got to figure out why you got blacklisted, make sure that you're not a real, bad guy trying to fraud the system. But then we got to, do our due diligence to make sure that we're compliant with the banking rules about whitelisting credit card. We're still going to have the things in place that are going to say you can only use this card so many times a day, so many times a month for so much amount. Those are just part of our fraud screening prevention that we're doing. And soon we're actually going to be rolling out a new payment method that doesn't it doesn't have a fraud element in it. So those that are having challenges with credit card could potentially choose the other one, which is first out of the gates offline bank transfer, and then will be online bank transfer in real time. Those two products are in the works right now. So some new payment options will be helpful to help those that are having trouble with credit cards. We just had to really lock down the credit card transaction piece because we were seeing so much fraud that we had to put a stop to it as fast as we could.
Well, definitely, we want to see the company survive, and we know fraud hurts everyone. Any time frame, as soon as you say something, people are all over it. Any time frame for when that will be for people to do the offline or online bank transfers to pay in?
I don't really have a timeline right now that I could speak to, but I will tell you that it's in the works and very close to a beta environment. So if that's anything to you, it's been a month and a half in development. So it's something that's currently in development right now. Literally talked about it today. So that's coming real soon, but I can't give you a date because I just don't know.
Okay, perfect. And then the last thing is someone's asking about, I guess from withdrawals from 730 and 86, those are going to be loaded into the back office. I guess they're asking, do they have to withdraw to load those, or is the company going to automatically load those into the GPG system?
Those systems from, I'll speak to two different dates. There was a few back on June 30th, I think, or in around that time frame, that there were withdrawal requests made and the funds never made it to the bank because we had some issues with wiring funds to those accounts. We're tracking down which ones went through and which ones didn't, and the ones that didn't will be paid via GPG as soon as we get confirmation on them. All of the August 6th payments will be loaded in GPG first of the week, and then last Tuesdays will be loaded later in the week.
Okay. All right, perfect. And I guess just got a text message here, and I'm not sure how to interpret this, but they're saying that they're people from South Africa or South America. They're unable to activate their account because it always says incomplete, and it does not let you choose the state where there's an asterisk. Can't speak to that. Haven't seen that actual thing. If you can get me some details on the customer who's having that challenge, I can look into it for them specifically. Okay, perfect. I'll have him send me over that information. I'll make sure it gets to you.
You can give me his login, his Telex-free login name. I can track it down from there.
Okay, perfect.
It might be good to give me his country and state as well in case it's not indicated correctly in his Telex-free account.
Okay, perfect. So I'll get that information, the login, and then the username and everything that you need, and his where he's from. Well, that's it for me, Steve. I'm not seeing any other questions come through, so great call, very informative. And Steve, you have anything else you want to say before we end the call?
No, actually, I just wanted to thank everybody for their patience. And the times have been challenging getting to where we are, and the future is going to be incredibly efficient. And Jay's been working long hours, and his team has been trying to get this together for us as fast as possible. When the bank told us no more wires, it really chewed on his lap fast. And I want to thank you, Jay, for the hours you put into this and everything that is coming together for everybody out in the field, and it's going to make things a lot easier, a lot more efficient, and we will still have bumps, as Jay said. It's in there now, and it's not perfect yet, but it will grow to be perfect in the next couple of weeks. So be patient. I am still getting people telling me that it's still coming up with duplicate accounts, but I do feel it's exactly what you said there in the beginning, Jay, that it set it up when they first clicked it, and they didn't go back in and realize that it was set up. So anybody that's getting duplicate account issues, then send a login upline if you need to, and we'll see if we can make sure that you're okay. But I think we're good on this end. Jay, thank you so much. Randy and all the leaders, thank you for all your time. I know it's a Friday night. Everybody wants to be home. So I'm all set, and we're good to sign off.
Hey, Steve, thank you so much for doing this call. And I apologize. One last question. Someone was asking, with the 800 numbers, the 888 numbers that we're calling, are they going to be briefed on the GPG setup for answering questions for that, or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Because that is a front end. People may have questions about it, and the customer service manager that's running that, he's been wonderful. Ernie, he's been right on his game, and he's done everything that he's wanted to do and that we want him to do. So I'm sure it won't be a problem. I'll walk him through these steps, and he'll teach his staff pretty quick. So they will not do back office logins, but anybody that's got a question, call him. He'll walk you through it to the point where if you need back off login information, what he'll do is he escalates a ticket up to us, and we'll work on it our end, and then he'll get back to you on that. So we'll make sure that he gets all the right steps.
Well, the back office of GPG looks absolutely incredible. I'm very, very impressed. So thanks a lot for all you guys are doing to help all of us continue to spread the news about Telex Free. So thanks so much, Steve. We appreciate it.
And you're welcome, and thank you, Jay, for all that you do there. And we'll talk to you all real soon. Thank you very much for everybody.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.